ब्रह्माहं यत्प्रसादेन मयि विश्वं प्रकल्पितं श्रीमत्स्वयं प्रकाशाख्यं प्रणौमि जगतां गुरुं यः परमात्मा जगत्सृष्ट्वा प्रविवेश पुनः स्वयं तं कृष्णं प्रत्यगात्मानं वन्दे गोपी मनोहरम् यस्य प्रसादादहमद्वयात्मा विश्वं समस्तं मयि कल्पितं च तं सर्वलोकैकगुरुं सदाश्री स्वयं प्रकाशं गुरुमानतोऽस्मि गुरूणां चरणां भोजं प्रणिपत्य निरन्तरं तत्कृपालेशतोऽद्वैत चिंता कौस्तुभमारभे। So now we have the Purvapakshi who says that, well, that you have proven that mind is capable of undergoing modifications. That's fine, because it is a Karya Dravya. But how would you prove that this vritti is the product or is the modification of mind? To which again the Siddhanti replied by saying, here is the Shruti, which says these are the modifications of mind: Kama, Sankalpa, Vichikitsa, Shraddha, Shraddha, Dhriti, Adhriti, Hi, Dhi, Bhi, Hi. Where that word Dhi comes, it already says that it is one of those dharmas of Antakaranam. Oh. So he says, well, sir, we have to pause here because this is the Nayayika saying, because according to them, this knowledge is something that is not the dharma of Antakaranam, but it is located in the self, because this is our anubhava, this is our experience. Aham janami, aham ichchami. So janami, ichchami, this is when this is there. Iti atmadharmatvena anubhuyamananam jnanechhadinam kathamantakarana dharmatvam anubhava virodhat, because Shruti cannot also go against what is being experienced and say, if you are experiencing the fire is hot, Shruti cannot, though there may be Shruti which says, well, the fire is cold. What can that Shruti do? Your experience is that it is hot. Now what? So therefore, anubhava virodhat. You did this is anubhava virodha. So he says, no. Who he? Siddhanti says, sir, look at this. Taptaya pindavad anyonyatadapnya adhyasena antakarana atmanoho ayodhati iti vat janami ityadi anubhavo upapattehe. How then do you provide the justification and explanation for this? Janami, ichchami, according to you, sir. If janami and according to you, sir, knowledge or this, ichcha, etc., if it is antakarana dharma, if these are the attributes of antakarana, of the mind, then then how do you provide the explanation? How does this experience arise in an individual where he says, Janami Chami? I know, I desire. Obviously, the location is the self, I, and you are saying it is the mind. So here he says, he begins with, and what do they call? An example. Taptayaf Pindavat. It is like a hot iron ball. What happens to this hot iron ball? So, Taptaya Pindavat, Anyonya Tadatmya Adhyasena. There is a Tadatmya Adhyasa. And yeah, every word over there, okay? Anyonya means mutual. Anyasya, anyasmin vastuni, anyonya. Okay. Mutual. What is happening? Anyonya tadatmya. Identification, a mutual identification. What has happened in this mutual identification? Fire is identified as the iron, and iron, the steel, is identified as the fire. Fire and the steel ball and the steel, these are two different elements, two different things. But over here, the hot iron ball burns. Okay. Taptaya Pindavat. Anyonyatadatmya Dhyasena Antakaranaatmanoho Atmanoho Ayodhatitivat. Now, what has happened? The mind, in our case, the mind is identified as the self is identified as the mind. Anyonyadhyasa is taking place. And so, Ayodhatitivat. And what do you say? Oh, I was burned by the steel, that steel object. I was burned by the steel object. And the steel does not have capacity to burn you. In our childhood, many times, sometimes, we used to find burns or something like that on our mother's hand. And then we'd ask, what happened? So there are these hot vessels and things like that. Sometimes, making the chapati, the tawa is there. So the tawa means the tawa, I got burned because of the tawa. That how can this tawa, the pan burn you? Pan cannot. But we say that, and it is upapannam. It is upapannam. So fire has the capacity to burn, yet we say the pan burnt me. And so, like that, Atma and the mind are anyonyatadatmyadhyasa that is taking place, and exactly like how one claims the iron burnt me, like that one goes to say it is aham janami, aham ichhami, itivat janami ityadi anubhavo, ityadi anubhavo upapattehe. Oh, but is there anything to prove that such kind of a tadatmya adhyasa exists, or adhyasa itself exists, that superimposition is possible? Nacha adhyase mana bhava. Why do you need something else to prove when you are experiencing it? Nacha adhyase mana bhava, because this experience of yours itself goes as the pramana, as the evidence over there to prove. Okay. Swanubhavasyeva pramanatvat tatha hi janami ki jnatratvam anubhuyate. Now the knowership is experienced. Tachan takkaranasya kevalasya na sambhavati. Now he is giving you a further explanation as how it goes. Janami. What do you mean by that janami? That I know. What exactly is that I know? Jnatritvam, the knowership. Okay, jnatritvam anubhuyate, the knowership is experienced. Now, antakaranam by nature is a jadavastu, is an inert object, like any inert object, ghatapatadivat. Okay. Tacha antakaranasya kevalasya na sambhavati, but then this, the ghatapata, etc., all this, the pot, the pot and all these things, they are not going to claim knowership. Then how does that knowership happens? Therefore, kevalasya na sambhavati. Why? Jadatvat. Napi tadatmanaha sambhavati. Tadatmanaha sambhavati. This is not even possible here with Atma. Janami, that knowership. Oh, there is no knowership even in the self. Why? Asango hiyayam purushaha kevalo nirgunascha avyakto yamachintyo yamavikaryo yamichyate. Now, because this Shruti says, Asango hiyayam purushaha, this purusha, this chaitanyam, the consciousness, how is it? Asangaha, unattached to anything. And therefore, kevalaha is all by itself, all alone. Nirgunascha, devoid of all attributes. Nirgunascha, avyaktaha is unmanifest. Ayam achintyaha cannot be conceptualized. Achintyaha ayam avikari. Avikari means does not undergo any modifications. Now look at this. Every form of your knowledge of janami will be replaced by another one or not. So there are modifications. This is modification, but Atma is free from all modifications, and therefore now the knowership, which is also a form of modification, and in knowership there is a sambandha which has to happen. Okay, knowership means there has to be some sort of sambandha. Without I know the pot. What means what? That there is that sambandha with the pot, connected to the pot. So without this, but this Atma is asanga, and therefore how this knowership is also not possible in Atma. So in both antakaranam it is not possible because jadatvat. Not possible in Atma because asangatvat. Then knowership, and yet where knowership is not possible in both, yet there is knowership which is seen, which means that aham janami, aham ichhami, this is already what you are seeing. Then how does that happen? It is not possible either in Atman, nor is it possible in the mind. Then how does it happen? Tatascha aham iti atmani antakaranam. Tatascha aham iti atmani antakaranam madhyasya antakarane aham chetanaha iti atmatadatmya adhyasanyonya dharmascha anyonyasmin adhyasya aham janami iti jnatrutvam anubhavati jivaha. Now this is a very important line. Tatascha aham iti atmani antakaranam. How is this antakaranam superimposed in the self? As aham. Okay, now this vritti aham, this cognition aham is is superimposed in the self. Now, and how is the self then superimposed in the antakaranam? So here he says, ha adyasya antakarane aham chetanaha iti. Now, this antakaranam is seen as how is the self imposed, superimposed in antakaranam? Aham chetanaha. I am conscious being. This claim in the antakaranam is taking place. So aham chetanaha iti atma tadatmyam. This atma tadatmyam is taking place in antakaranam, means antakaranam is seen as the self. And how is the self seen as antakaranam? Just with this vritti aham. And how is self seen as in the antakaranam? As superimposed in the antakaranam, aham chetanaha iti atmatadatmyam adhyasaha anyonya dharmanscha, and the mutual attributes then are also superimposed. Okay. Anyonya adhyasa is also there, and anyonya dharma adhyasa is also there. Anyonyasmin adhyasya aham janami iti jnatrutvam anubhavati jivaha. Thus, this experience of aham janami is possible. With what? Anyonya tadatmya adhyasa and anyonya dharma tadatmya adhyasa. Okay. Ataha swanubhavaha eva dhyase pramanam. And therefore you don't need anything else over here to prove adhyasa. Your own experience is sufficient. Ataha swanubhava eva dhyase pramanam. Tadaha Bhagavan Bhashyakaraha. This is what Bhagavan Bhashyakara says. Aham idam mamedam iti naisargiko ayam loka vyavaharaha. Aham idam, this is what I am. I am a man, I am a woman with deha, and so also with antak. Everything is superimposed in the same way. Aham idam mamedam iti, and this belongs to me. Okay. Mamedam iti naisargiko. This is not taught by anyone. It comes naturally. It comes naturally. Otherwise, who is teaching? That what do they call it? Kida, some worm, that it is his territory and no other kidas are allowed there. Hey, mamedam, he says, mamedam, this is my territory, my territory. You have to see. Sometimes I watch these, geckos, these lizards, which come over there on this to get those insects when you have these tube lights and bulbs. Now that gecko will not tolerate another gecko, this lizard that comes into its territory. It will go chase it away. The gecko says, this is my territory. It is my territory. So who taught this? This is your territory. He says, me. So this comes naturally. Naisargiko ayam loka vyavaharaha. What only in manushas this is seen even in the lower forms of life, and that's why aham mamedam iti naisargiko ayam loka vyavaharaha. Okay. Yach janya jnane chhadinam atmamana sanyogad utpattihi iti nyayamatam tanna upapadyate. We have done this. Does anybody, you have to write and tell me. Do you want to go into this Nyayamata? Anyone? Anybody? You just tell me.
No,
In this
Swamiji.
the Nayayikas are saying
Yes, Swamiji.
that the knowledge or ichha, etc., is born because the mind and the Atma make a contact. Wherever this contact takes place, there is a spark either of knowledge or ichha and similar things. So, what is the Vedantin saying? He is saying it is because of the anyonya tadatmya adhyasa. Whereas the Nayayika is saying is because of sanyoga. Whose sanyoga? Atma manas sanyoga. Iti nyayamatam. Does anybody want to go into this nyayamatam? Otherwise, we will skip and go ahead. You please tell me.
Yes, Swamiji.
Don't write message. You want to go through it. Okay. Okay. Tanna upapadyate. But then whatever he is saying is not upapannam, is not cannot be justified. Okay. Atma manasoho niravayavataya sanyoga sambhavat. He gives you in the first go only, he has already answered that. Why is it not upapannam? What is not upapannam? Nyayamatam. What is the nyayamatam? That janami, ichhami, etc. is because of atma mana sanyogat, is because of the sanyoga, the contact of atma and mind. Because in their opinion, atma is also one dravya, mind is also yet another dravya, and therefore these two dravyas can come together. But and now, though it is their opinion, but you will have to prove it enter into their premise only, and then show that how their claim, no, we believe like this, you don't believe like this. No, you'll have to enter into their premise, and in their premise only you will have to prove how it is absurd according to them only. According to them, not according to us. You can keep your things with you. So this is how it has to happen. So he says, Atma Manasoho. What is accepted by the Nayayikas about Atma and the mind? That both do not have any shape. Okay? Why they don't have any? Because they are not Savayava Padartha. Atma is not Savayava, theek hai. But according to them, mind is also not Savayava. It is Niravayava Padartha. Got it? So, Atma Manasoho Niravayavataya. Can anything which is partless have a contact? That is one type of sambandha. Sanyoga is one type of sambandha. So, for contact to take place, there has to be what is the necessary thing? That it will be partial. In one part of the object, only the contact will take place. Okay? So, therefore, Atmanaso niravayavataya sanyoga asambhava sanyoga sambhava. Not possible. Now, actually, the question, this thing is very well answered. You don't need to go any further. Correct? Because according to you, according to the Nayayikas, both of these are nirvaya padarthas. And nirvaya padarthas cannot have yoga. Why nirvaya padarthas cannot have yoga? If our Nayayika is saying that there is Sanyog between Atma and mind, in spite of them being, in spite of them being Niraya, and there is Sanyog between these Niravatar. This is what the fellow will say. Internet connection is unstable. सुनाई दे रहा है क्या? It is giving me some this thing. Internet connection is not okay.
Pixelated आ रहा है स्वामी जी.
It is okay. Okay. Yes means unstable. Oh, the voice is breaking. You can hear me. Okay. You can say if it is breaking too much, then we may not. We will discontinue. Okay. ठीक है भाई. एक पंक्ति पूरी कर लेते हैं. तथा ही अव्याप्तिर्हि संयोगः. Now, how do you define sanyoga, sir? Now, these definitions are given by Nayayika only, because when he is talking about sanyoga sambandha, it is his responsibility to provide the definition. And say, what is sanyoga? Avyapya vrittihi. Avyapya vritti is called as sanyoga. He means indeed. So, avyapya vritti sanyogaha. Vritti over here means varti. Varti means not the Marathi varti. Actually, varti in Marathi also means the same thing. On that, उसपे बरतता है. So how is this sanyoga? It stays. How does it stay? It stays only in one part. It is avyapya. How is it? It does not cover the whole thing, but it covers only partially. Okay, avyapya vritti. And to cover anything partially, there has to be a part. Without a part, how can anything cover partially? So even if that sanyoga was to stay, even if the sanyoga was to stay in the object, whether it is mind and the atma, it will be only in a part of the mind and part of atma. Partial. It will cover both of them partially. So sanyoga is, because it is a sambandha, it necessarily will be between these two. And for sambandha, you require two. There cannot be sambandha just with one. So two are required. And so, but how is the sanyoga? It will stay partially in a part of that object, whichever that object may be. Over here we are considering atma and mind. And so, to cover partially, you require part. But how is the nature of your atma and mind? According to you, Mr. Nayayika, you are saying both of them are Niravayava, partless. Then they are partless. How can the Sanyoga Sambandha, which is a partial thing, be ever, which covers partially, a Vyapya Vritti can ever cover it up? Can be there, can the Sanyoga be there? Of Vyapya Vrittitvam Nama. Now he goes, because he has given you a new word. So now we have to have an explanation as what is Avyapya Vritti. अव्याप्यवृत्तित्वं नाम स्वाधिकरणनिष्ठ अत्यंताभाव प्रतियोगित्वम्. We'll see. ततश्च विरुद्धयोः प्रतियोगी तद् अभावयोः अवच्छेदकभेदमन्तरेण आत्मनि निष्प्रदेशे असंभवेन आत्मनि ज्ञानादयो जायन्ते इति अनुपपन्नम्. Okay. This is a very nice thing. If we have to understand, to understand this is a very, very nice line. Swadhikarana nishthatyanta bhava. What is called as avyapyavrittitvam? Because what is sanyoga? Avyapyavritti. Then what will that sanyoga have? Avyapyavrittitvam. Sanyoga has one attribute. Now this attribute can be in anything else also. But this is presently, where are we seeing it? In sanyoga. What is that attribute? Avyapyavrittitvam. So how is it? Swadhikarana nishtha atyanta bhava pratiyogitvam. Swa adhikarana nishtha atyanta bhava pratiyogitvam. Now we have to a little bit of understanding. Understanding in the sense, a little discussion. Now, when you say absence of pot, ghata bhava, what is called absence of pot? Ghata bhava. Why is it called ghata bhava? Because ghata means pot, abhava means absence. Ghatasya bhava. Ghatasya bhava, ghata bhava. There is absence. Now you just cannot say absence. Absence has to be qualified by its pratiyogi. Whose absence? Only then that absence becomes a valid absence. When you are saying there is absence, means what? Whose absence? Ghata bhavaha. So ghatasya bhavaha, absence of pot. So what is required for the absence is the with what it gets qualified. And what qualifies the absence? The object. And that object over here is then called as the pratiyogi. So ghata bhavasya, who is the pratiyogi of ghata bhava?
Ghata.
Ghata.
Who is the pratiyogi of ghata bhava? Somebody type it.
Ghata, Swamiji.
The ghata is the pratiyogi. So now he says, look, abhava pratiyogitvam. Acha ji, theek hai. No, but what kind of abhava pratiyogitvam? This is important. Swadhikarana nishtha. Atyanta bhava pratiyogitvam. Now, there is absence of the sanyoga in other parts except this part. Correct? So, but this, understand it in reference to the Kapi Vriksha Sanyoga. Kapi Vriksha. So this Kapi, this monkey is sitting on the tree. So there is definitely Sanyoga, contact of Kapi with the tree. And there is Sanyoga of the tree with the Kapi. Correct? Kapi means this monkey. Both of them. So where is this Sambandha? In the tree and in the monkey. So Vrittitvam aa gaya. What is the location? What is the adhikaranam for this Sanyoga? In one place it is monkey, in the other place it is the tree. Swadhikarana. So it's, what is the adhikaranam? Its own adhikaranam, monkey and the tree. Swadhikarana. Nishtha. Atyanta bhava is the contact of the monkey everywhere on the tree. So no, sir, it is not there. Atyanta bhava. It is not there everywhere. So how is this? It is Swadhikarana Nishtha Atyanta bhava. So the contact of this monkey is not there everywhere on the tree. Then this sanyoga, the contact, how is it? It is pratiyogi of that absence. It is the pratiyogi of that absence. Are you all getting it? This is how the Nayayikas speak. Don't get baffled. This is just one line. There are, if you go ever to see this, the advanced books, they will all be in the language of this Nyaya. And they are like this. So, Swadhikarana Nishthatyanta bhava pratiyogitvam. That's why. But how, okay. But how is it? Tatascha viruddhayoho pratiyogi tad abhavayoho avachedaka bhedamantarena. What is the avachedak over there? Shakha. The shakha becomes something that will qualify where that abhava is there and where the abhava is not there, or where the sanyoga is there, where the sanyoga is not there. Okay. So Shakhavachedena. What qualifies the sanyoga on the tree? Because that sanyoga is absent all over the tree, but it still can be found on the tree when qualified by the shakha. On the branch, that branch becomes something that qualifies and shows that there is sanyoga on the tree. Otherwise, the tree is what? Everywhere you are going to find absence of the monkey. But when the shakha that defines, it will be there. So pratiyogi, So what do you require for that sanyoga? Is that avachedaka. Okay. You will require the avachedaka. Pratiyogi tad abhavayoho. Sanyoga is the pratiyogi. And sanyoga bhava, both, they are separated and qualified by the avachedaka. What is the avachedaka over here in case of kapi and tree? Shakha, which is a part. So pratiyogi Atmani nip. So you require something like an avachedaka, which is a part, and without which the sanyoga, which is a avyapya vrittitvam, avyapya vritti sanyoga cannot be there. So nishpradeshe, that which is without any parts, nishpradeshe asambhavena atmani jnanadayo jayante. And sir, according to you, therefore, even if this knowledge, janami, etc., was to be something in the self, is what your claim is not possible, because sanyoga will take place between two objects which are savayava. Because this is the nature of sanyoga. Sanyoga by itself is avyapya vritti, and avyapya vritti means it has to be defined by the avachedaka. It has to be qualified by the avachedaka. Avachedaka vedantarena nishpradeshe asambhavena atmani anadayo jayante iti anupannam. And therefore, this is totally absurd. You are saying that jnana adayo jayante, that jnana, etc., is born in Atma when mind comes in contact with Atma. Such claim of yours, which you are trying to say is your explanation to the experience aham janami. Then how can this aham janami be explained? Aham janami, this experience is explained as anyo